Private Mercer, your arrival has been most anticipated. The appearance of a primal is ever cause for alarm and unease. Though my men stand ready for any eventuality, I know of none more qualified than you to snuff out this threat. Indeed, I would have you do so without delay. The Elder Seedseer, however, would speak with you first. She is of the opinion that your diplomatic, rather than martial, skills may better serve our cause. I will leave further explanation to our learned leader. Pray, make your way to Nafka's altar. The conjurer in attendance will admit you to the Lotus Stand.
Scions of the Seventh Dawn, on behalf of the people of Gridania, I bid you welcome. Your presence is of great comfort to us all in these days of uncertainty. I summoned you here to share tidings of a most urgent nature. But a short while ago, the great elemental spoke, and his voice was clarion in its intensity. Ramu is returned unto the forest. Scarce had his words ceased to echo in mine ears when we were visited by an emissary from Little Solace. Our guest informs us that the Sylphs, too, have sensed the presence of the Lord of Levin. Though his exact whereabouts remain unknown, we may safely assume that the Primal was summoned within the heart of the Sylphlands. Unlike the other Primals you have encountered, Lord Ramu is no raging avatar of destruction. He is revered as much for his wisdom as his strength, serving as both arbiter and guardian to his children. Given that we and the Sylphs found a way to share the Twelves Wood, it is my hope that this sagely immortal will be amenable to reason, and that conflict may be avoided. Blessed as you are with the power of the Echo, you are one of the few among us who may commune with a primal without fear of influence. I would ask, therefore, that you represent us in this most delicate of negotiations. The Twelves Wood has suffered enough. Upon this, we and the Sylphs, and I would venture Lord Ramu himself, are in perfect accord. Let us not endanger our shared home by engaging in unnecessary hostilities. Dear friend, I beseech you, safeguard the peace which exists between our peoples. You have my thanks. Pray make for little solace, then. A member of the Order of the Twin Adder awaits you there. He will advise you on how to find the Lord of Levin. An ill wind blows through the forest. Yet, it is not only the Twelves Wood that flinches at its coming. All the lands of Eorzea shiver in dread anticipation. Have care.
Private Mercer, I was told to expect you. I understand you go to treat with the primal Ramu himself. An inviolable task, and one that shall be made all the more difficult by the interference of the touched ones, the touched sylphs. With the aid of the scions and the inhabitants of Little Solace, the Order of the Twin Adder will enter the Sylphlands and do what can be done to clear your path. I shall brief you on the impending operation once you are satisfied with your preparations. Ready, are you? Then allow me to explain the finer details for this foray into the Sylphlands. In order that you might treat with the Lord of Levin, we must first learn where the primal is to be found. Though we are certain Ramu was summoned somewhere within the territory of the touched sylphs, his presence, his precise whereabouts, yet elude us, and aimlessly thrashing around in the undergrowth will only lead to unnecessary conflict. We are fortunate then to have the expertise of the Sons of the Seventh Dawn at our disposal. Mistress Ida and her companions will make use of the Charlian devices to measure recent etheric activity. They assure me that the disturbances caused by the summoning of a primal shall prove a most obvious beacon. But we must not go ahead of ourselves. Your first objective will be to join up with your fellow scions. Time being of the essence, they have already entered the Sylphlands. Fear not, however, they have a twin adder escort and a sylph guide for come. Help! This one needs help. The guide? What has become of our companions? These ones were ambushed at the border of the Touched One's territory. Touched Ones tossed a stinking scale bomb, and arrow shooting ones were left coughing and crying. What of the scions? Arrow shooting ones were in the lead and took the worst of the stinging. Other walking ones scattered this way and that to escape the same fate. Barely 2 steps into the Sylphland and we have already lost our charges. But it will profit us little to go running around them until we know exactly what we're facing. Let us first tend to the scouts and assess the situation. This one has cleansing water for walking ones. Splash it over arrow shooting ones and rinse away the stinging scales from eyes and nose and mouth. My thanks. I will leave this task in Private Mercer's capable hands. It is hardly an auspicious beginning, but I must ask that you adhere to the plan and rendezvous with your fellow scions. If you can get the scouts back on their feet, they may be able to point you towards your companions. Oh, be on your guard. If this operation is to succeed, we can ill afford any further mishaps. Coughing and crying ones are not far. This one will show walking one the way. Gas, butter. Oh, that's much better. Cough, thank, wheeze, thank you. A sylph threw some in her powder. Ah, praise Nafika. I thought to claw my own eyes from my skull. Does that bastard sylph yet linger? I can still barely see. He does. Another walking one? Ha! This one shall not falter. This one carries an entire sack of This one's sack of skill bombs. It's gone. No matter. This one will fetch more. The new walking one will suffer as well. This one stole Touched One's sack, while Touched One was gloating over coughing ones. But this one's clever trick will mean not if Touched One fetches more skill bombs. Walking One must act fast. This one will use another clever trick to help Walking One move unseen. Walking One must sneak up on Touched One before this one's trick wears off. Take the skill bombs and give Touched One a taste of Touched One's own medicine. Walking One ready? This one is eager to make mischief for Touched One. Hold still, Walking One will soon be there, but not there, just like the wind. That's his magic will render you invisible. Find touch selves and surprise and a stink bomb before the enchantment fades. The invisibility spell will last for 35 seconds. If you run out of time before achieving the objective, return to Maxion and ask to refresh the enchantment. While the invisibility spell is in effect, you can extend its duration by touching the sweet-smelling wildflower found along the way. Try this on for size. Ow, 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 this one leaves smart and prickle. This one was being so careful with the scales. Walking One give Touched One a stinging surprise. Touched One will no doubt will not bother these ones for a time. This one thinks. And coughing and crying ones seem much better. Perhaps arrow shooting ones are ready to talk with Walking One now. I can finally see again. Your aid is most appreciated. You're a private mercer, yes? Then you will doubtless be eager to know what became of your fellows. As you're aware, our party fell victim to an ambush. The scouts immediately moved forward to engage the enemy and bid the Scions to take cover. Then, before we knew what was happening, the air was filled with that stinking, choking dust. The last thing I saw before my vision clouded was Master Papalimbo stumbling northwest towards the gold leaf dais. I know not what befell the others. The Touched Sylphs are certainly alerted to our presence in their territory, and I urge you to locate your companions quickly. Maxio, our guide, will be of greatest help to you in that endeavor. Meanwhile, my fellow scouts and I will seek to draw the attention of potential ambushers away from you. Their nasty tricks will not find us such easy prey a second time. Enough of this. My feet ache, my back hurts, and I wish to leave these sylphs in peace. With their greetings, why don't you let this fellow take your measure? There is no need to take measurements. I can tell you with certainty that Lord Ramu is nowhere to be found. One must take these trick-breaking scale bombs and throw them at skin-changing sticky ones. Although this one does not suggest throwing anything unless Walking One is sure. Wise ones are not truly wise ones. Why are we still here? I'm tired and wish to depart immediately. My companion feels the same way. You don't try to trick me! Take this! Ah! Trying to deceive me! No, I will not walk another step. Let us cease this spoilment of the forest and return home. At your leech, certainly ain't eating. Or hearts is too big. Spoiled. Don't lie to me! Wise ones were sneaky ones in disguise after all, so this one led walking one into sneaky one's trap. Forgive this one. This one will search some more, and so must walking one. Does walking one still have trick-breaking skill bombs? This one fears more sneaky ones may be lurking nearby. Kira, it's you. I was worried you wouldn't find us. Seeing as you have, though, do you think you could give me a hand? Thancred's being a bit difficult. Keep telling him we should be taking readings, but he refuses to move. Oh, he's fake. Oh, woe is me. I cannot go on. It's far too dangerous. What if something were to happen to my beautiful face? Got it. Close, but not close enough. Your turn. I really don't know what Thancred's so worried about. His face isn't that beautiful. I think this is the real Ida. But don't lie to me just in case. Oh, yep. It's her. Oh, what'd you do that for? My bad. Thancred turned into a sylph? No? Wait. You're telling me that was a sylph? I fell for that. I'd heard about the shape-shifting trick, but that sprite was just so convincing. I wonder where the real Thancred has disappeared to. I may not know where Thancred is, but I've got a pretty good idea where Papalima and Y'shtola will be. They were with me just now. Y'shtola suggested we split up to cover more ground, and took Papalima with her. Oh no. Do you think one of them might have been with the sylph in disguise as well? We should probably be after them just in case. Come on, they're headed somewhere to the south. I think the 12. You found us at last. Wait, I see Ida, but where is... More imposters. Do not attempt to deceive me, sylph. I see what you are. But if by some faint chance you truly are my good friend Kira, mayhap you would consult Maxio over there. If Maxio he truly is, on the subject of how to dispel these infernal sylvan enchantments. This one suggests hitting 3 wise ones with 1 stone. If wise ones suspect walking one is actually skin-changing one, walking one is not likely to get a second opportunity to throw a skill bomb in wise one's presence, so walking one must aim carefully so that all wise ones are caught in the same skill bomb pool. Caught between a rock and a hard place. Ugh. Why did it have to be 2 Y'shtolas? I have been perfectly happy to give any number of Idas an experimental smack. Sorry, Y'shtola. See? Cough sputter. Was that truly necessary? Look, that one's a sylph. Cough. This one's trick has failed. The walking ones have not won yet. This one will not allow walking one to pass. Coming in closer, and this one's friends will be angry. So the little rascal means to stand his ground, does he? How very courageous. Would you do the honors, Kier? Why do I always have to do the honors? Greetings. I see you've all found each other. 'Twould seem I was a mite overzealous in my attempt to evade our sylvan ambushers. I was a mom away by the time I realized I was alone. Is that the real Thancred? Thought I missed? Do I have something on my face? Reasonably convincing, but one cannot be too careful. Remind me, Thancred, what was the reason for our little excursion into the Southlands? Did you take a tumble and bump your head, old friend? We're here to locate the site of the summoning so that Kira might parlay with Lord Rock. Too easy. Aha, why don't you tell us what you think of Fiamen? Truly? You would have me speak of the songstress of Olda? As you will. She is an exquisite rose that withers not with the passing of years. Charming as ever, I dare say you are perpetually beset upon all sides by swooning beauties. Please, Justola, I do not seek to make them swoon. Poetry rises unbidden to my lips when I behold a maiden's fair countenance. 'Tis the curse of my menstrual blood. Enough. If this is not the real Thancred, then I believe we have found a suitable replacement. Indeed. Well, that seems like quite enough entertainment for one day. 'Tis past time we return to the task at hand. Kira, do you mind approaching our touched friend? If not, if I'm not very much mistaken, his decision to stand his ground stems from something more than mere bravery. Stay away from this one. This one surrenders. This one is sorry for playing tricks on wise ones. But great and powerful one, Lord Ramu, is not here, so there is no need for wise ones to go any further. No need at all. Wise ones definitely must not go any further. This one would not want wise ones to get lost. Oh my. We've heard your exchange with our tormentor. His clumsy attempt at deceit would almost be endearing if time were not of the essence. Happily, I managed to take a reading of the surrounding area while you had his attention. As I suspected, the site of the Lord of the Leven summoning is very close indeed. My measurements indicate a large ethereal disturbance to the southeast. Thanks to the antics of the sylphs, we've been dragged to every corner of the Sylphlands, but none of our various readings returned a result of this magnitude. There can be only one conclusion. Ramu was called forth in the vicinity of the Sylphs' 8th grade. I suggest we proceed thither with all possible haste, after bidding Maxio here a fond farewell, of course. Should our trusty guide come too close to his deity, there is a distinct possibility that he will fall under the Primal's influence. Come, Kira, the Lord of the Leven awaits.
Tynora betrays thee, servant of hiding. Thou art the bringer of light, bane of Ifrit, Titan, Garuda, and Leviathan. I am Ramu, guardian of the children of the forest. Thou tramplest upon sacred soil, bringer of light. By what right doth man intrude in this sanctuary of the sylphs? The Gridanians proffer peace? Their words are born of delusion, thine offer an insult. Thou speakest of harmony, yet carest naught for my children's desires. They did but wish to dwell beneath these boughs in solitude. Yet even that was too much to ask of man. Thus did they turn to me for succor. The sentence I pronounce upon thy kind is just. Redanian or Garlean, it matters not. The good intent of one excuseth not the misdeeds of the other. Thy conflicts have brought naught but anguish and misery unto the forest. All blame doth lie with the darkness that resideth in the breast of man. Whence sprung this calamitous seed? In the beginning no such duality existed. Were light and dark given form when man was born? It would explain much, not least why strife and sorrow follow ever in thy wake. Thou canst not deny the urgings of thine own nature. Knowing that thy mere presence here portendeth tragedy, wilt thou persist in this pretense of peacemaking? Thou bearest the crystal which I bestowed upon my wayward charges. That they should entrust so precious a gift to thee. Thou standest apart from thy kin. Thou art the bringer of light, aye. But there is something more in thee. Very well. I shall consider thy proposal. Shouldst thou survive my trial. If thou wouldst champion the cause of harmony, I must have proof that thou art fit to play the role. Wither mine ire, and prove to me thereby that thou hast strength enough to stay the darkness which threateneth to consume thee. Yet if thou shouldst be found wanting, know that all men shall perish in the storm of my judgment. Come to me, bringer of light. I shall await thee on the field of battle.
Urianger, it is rare indeed to find you so far from a tome.
The Lord of Levin himself. Never till this day had I looked upon his visage, save in painted renderings made faint by time. Ever shall this scene remain etched in my mind's eye. Beg pardon, my lady. I must beg thine aid on a point of research. If thou art resolved to face Lord Ramuh, I would ask thy leave to observe the event.
I have taken thy measure, bringer of light. And I judge thee a worthy champion. The task of excising the sin that hath taken root in man's heart is thine. Shrink not from employing thy strength in service to the forest and the wider realm beyond. Like hungering shadows do the enemies of harmony gather, and meekness will but feed them. If man is to be delivered from the dark, it shall be by thy guiding light alone. Stray not from the path, for if thou dost, thy people shall be truly lost.
Thou hast slain the Lord of Levin. A regrettable act, but a necessary one. In witnessing thy struggle, a truth hath been revealed unto me. If I mistake not, it may yet prove a chink in the eternal armor of the Assyrians. But let us conclude our present business. I shall expound upon my findings at the Rising Stones anon.
Private Mercer, you have returned. Dare I ask how Rama received your visit? Yeah, gave me the sword, cuz. He challenged you to test of arms. It is well, then, that you have some experience in such matters. The peoples of both Gridania and Little Solace will be relieved to hear that the Lord of Levin has accepted you as the forest's champion of peace. You have performed a monumental duty this day, Private Mercer. The Elder Seer must be informed of your deeds at once. The Elder Seer will wish to hear of your experiences firsthand. Pray, return to Gridania and make directly for the Lotus Den. The conjurer at Nafka's altar will be expecting you. Fare you well, Private Mercer.
You are returned to us, dear friend, and none the worse for bearing the heavy burden which I did press upon you. Most I am informed that your efforts to negotiate a peace with Lord Ramu ended in conflict. Pray tell me, what befell? Ramu made trial of you? I fear there is truth to his claim. It is the darkness within us that attracts the darkness without. It cannot be denied that misfortune follows man. For evidence, one need only look to the conflict brewing in Cartano, or to the rising flood of refugees. Our shared struggle against the Empire should have served to seal our union. Yet the ties which bind the alliance strain under the weight of gross self-interest. As the scars of the calamity begin to fade, so too does our sense of common purpose. Yet now is scarce the time to forget our shared responsibility. If this new-sprung realm is to survive beyond its infancy, it must needs be nurtured by all. Eorzea must be as one. Yet I fear that dream is still far off. On behalf of the people of Gridania and the elementals both, I thank you for all that you and your fellow scions have done. Full oft have I been compelled to look to you for aid of late, and offered all too little in return. As leader of this nation, I shall endeavor to prove a more worthy ally to your cause henceforth. Lord Ramu has departed, yet the keening of this ill wind grows no less insistent. Voices of the forest, pray speak and I shall listen. What unseen evil begets this unease in my heart?
You should have seen Maxio when we got back to Little Solace. Grateful is an understatement. I thought he was going to shake Papalimo's hand off. Thus ends another daunting mission, eh, Kira? I'd hoped Lord Ramu could be persuaded with words alone, but nonetheless, I can only admire the adroitness with which you responded to the Primal's sudden challenge. And it seems that Oriange, too, was pleased with the outcome. What say you, Kira? Shall we gather back at the Rising Stones and ponder the lessons of the day?